What form of business should I choose? My name is Andrew Ayers. I'm a business lawyer with offices in Minnesota and New York. And today let's talk about one of those first major questions you face as a business owner. What type of legal entity should you choose for your business? So this will usually come up either at the very beginning, before you start a business, or right after you started your business and you're looking at the next steps. It's very important at this step to talk to your accountant and talk to your attorney to make sure you're making the right choice and getting the right advice on what is the next step, what is the correct legal entity. So we've got about 6 main categories of entities we're going to talk about. The first one is what you have no matter what, and that's a sole proprietorship. If you just start a business, you don't incorporate, you don't do any filings, you're a sole proprietorship. Now there's a big benefit because there's no extra filings and there's a lot less paperwork, but you're also missing out on the tax benefits that you could be receiving from incorporating a business. First type of business that we incorporate are called partnerships. This is when you're working with others who will also be the owners of your company. We can have a general partnership where we're just working with other people. We can have a limited liability partnership, which just like it sounds like, it limits the liability of the partners. We can have a limited partnership, meaning the partners only have certain fiduciary duties to each other. And we can have a family limited partnership, where we have a limited partnership that is composed of family members. You can also choose to be a corporation. And there's 2 types of corporations you read about, although one is not really a corporation. The first is a C corporation. This is a traditional corporation that most companies would elect. The second is what's called an S corporation, which is not a separate type of corporation, but it's a tax election. Now, many LLCs, many businesses use the S corp election, but this is where it's important to talk to your accountant to make sure the S corp election works best for you and what your business goals are. The very hot item, the one that we all seem to hear about these days, are LLCs, limited liability companies. There are different requirements for each state for a limited liability company, so you want to check with what those requirements are in your state. For example, in New York, there's a publication requirement, which means after you form your LLC, you've got to file it in the county where it's located. If you're in Manhattan, that can be a very large expense. If you and your partners in the LLC are going to be licensed, you can also create a PLLC, a professional limited liability company, and that is for things like attorneys, doctors, lawyers. But again, that's not available in every state. You need to check your state rules. A little more advanced way to intersect estate planning with your business is a business trust. And what that is a business will actually be owned by a trust. So usually it's going to be an individual owner owning a business, transferring that business into their trust. It's a great vehicle for estate planning, but it's a little more advanced technique that you don't want to just try on your own. And then finally, we have professional corporations. So these are when you have people who are licensed, as I said before, doctors, lawyers, engineers. These are special kinds of companies for people with licenses. So if you're in that category, it's especially important to work with the professionals to make sure you're setting up the right kind of company. So amongst all of these, I can't tell you in a generalized YouTube video which your company should be. This is where the professional advisors will come in to say, you know what, an LLC is right for you, or maybe looking at your finances, let's put that business into a trust. So instead of just going to a website and trying to download some business documents, take some time, meet with an attorney, meet with your accountant to make sure you're setting up the right company for you. If you're not sure where to get started, you can go to my website, andrewmayers.com. There's a red button for scheduling a legal strategy session. Click that and you're taken to my personal calendar, and we can set up a 15 or 20 minute phone call to discuss where your company is in this process and what are some of the best options for you and your company going forward.